video, I'm fixing a convertible Mustang.
And we're also swapping in a 347 stroke engine into this Mustang.
And also the 63 Impala lowrider is completely done. We got the hood back on and everything on the hood is detailed.
This week has been a little bit difficult to film as I've been doing things to earn a buck to build my YouTube cars and builds. But first of all, I'm gonna show you what I did the first part of this week. We went to my friend Nicolaj's place and we swapped over his 347 stroke engine from his 65 Mustang over to his 67 Mustang. Let's jump into that action right now. What we're doing right now is fitting up the new clutch and flywheel setup for the 347 stroker, which before on the 302 engine that was in the yellow Mustang had a wrong flywheel on it, so it was rattling and shaking itself to pieces. But we got it hopefully correct one now. Clutch tool ready over here. Gonna throw it on with the, of course, SFI unit, bell house plate, whatever. So right now we're just gonna mount up flywheel and put some seal on the bolts and stuff like that. Then we're gonna get the car down and the engine in, or the engine up and the car down and up. And then the other thing down and up, yes. Time first, right? So much torque, the frame twist.
Yeah.
The engine crate. Torque spec when it starts to get loose again. Of course you just want a loose fit right here. Yep. Yep, there you go. Gotta stretch the frets.
Well, okay there, buddy.
Quick update! We got the driveline in, don't we? We got a drive shaft over here. And then we also got the whole transmission engine thing going on over here, so that's pretty good. Anywho, we got the starter in, we got the engine mounts in, we got a clutch cable in, we got, that's all we got in. Great progress. I'll update you guys in a bit, I guess. Er I klar? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, update, we got the engine in. Right now we're putting on like carburetor, all the small stuff, little engine wiring harness over here. Not headers, because headers are getting done out in the town right now, getting some other flanges on. Alternator, power steering, check. Radiator, check. Radiator hoses, probably, most likely. I don't know where the radiator was, so maybe we're not doing that anyway. Let's throw in a time lapse. Another one. Lazy video, I like it. Dropping tools. Anywho, the tools in the shop have started to fly on its own. I don't know what's going on. We got the carburetor on and other few small things over here, temperature, sensor, unit, thing, whatever. So right now what we're gonna do, preventative maintenance if you will, actually tuning. Pull off the bowl, then we're gonna put some smaller jets in right now, because right now it's running a little bit on the fat side or whatever, but we did also add a 1 inch open space or whatever, so maybe that's gonna equal out. So, but as you can see, these things are more black than the previous president of America. Or the previous, whatever. Well, boys, we inside the old double pumper. It's not a double pumper, you can see right there. Got the jets right here. We're just gonna screw them out, and luckily they're almost so tight that you can just screw them out with your fingers, which is not the case usually if you know how jets are screwed into a carburetor. But let's see what size these are. It's a 70 jet, which is not really that big for a 302, but I mean it is a 347, so I don't know. For a main jet 70, that's maybe it's still too big for this little mill. So the new jets we have over here are 68s. So there are 2 numbers smaller. So that's not a big change, but it's a little change. So we'll change now and we'll see how the thing is gonna run and whenever this car is gonna run. Jets has been changed out to 68 jets instead, so now I'm gonna throw the bolt back on, tighten it down, and then it's pretty much ready to receive fuel. The old so you guys know. That was funny. Anyway, as you guys can see in this rig, we got a brand new box and steering box. Anyway, so right now, as you can see right here on the bench, we also got to put in a box and steering, power steering box. Yes, I mixed around the two words. So we're just gonna figure out how this is gonna mount real quick. We're gonna throw it on the car, so that's great and all. Power to the people. Well, that was pretty easy when you actually put your mind to it. The pump is in great success.
Hell yeah.
We got as far as we could because Nicolaj have to get some headers and headers flanges and stuff done like that. So I'm back here in the shop and I'm gonna give you guys a quick update on these builds and how I fixed this 65 Mustang, which had a weird ignition problem. So let's have a look at the Impala and what work we got done on this thing. Look at that, it's like a brand new 63 Impala in here. So as you guys can see, the whole engine bay got detailed and done. I got the final adjustments on the carburetors and stuff like that. And it looks freaking amazing. Looks like a new engine bay pretty much. And it's ready to get picked up. And then we got the 65 Mustang into the shop as well. So this car came into the shop and just needed basic maintenance. So we got new spark plugs in there, oil filled and stuff like that. But the thing is, it had a different kind of ignition problem that I haven't seen before. And first of all, the customer said that the car suddenly dies when it's been running for a while. If he sits at a stoplight, like at idle, in gear, foot brake. That kind of seemed like maybe an ignition problem or floats, if the carburetor was overfloating or like drowning the engine or whatever. But I checked out all that and I readjusted the whole carburetor and ignition and stuff like that. Runs great now, also because it has a Petronics ignition system in it, which is 12 volt ignition. And a way quicker like advanced curve or whatever. Now when all that checked out, I got to thinking that maybe it was an ignition problem because it cut out very abrupt or whatever. It was not like fuel starving or whatever, because I was also thinking fuel pump, fuel filter, as you do. This is a more common fault problem that we're dealing with here. And that came to my 68 F250 fault that I had. Kind of had the same problem where the starter relay kind of short out on the inside or whatever. At too big of a load, power wise or amp wise came onto the car, it would die or run badly or whatever. So the first thing I did was take this thing out at night. I turned on the wipers, the lights, the air conditioning unit, everything that was causing power draw or whatever. And as soon as I just hit the high beams, the thing started running bad, like yeah, that's how I thought running bad sounds like. So I immediately knew that there was a bad connection from battery, there was a bad ground, it could be a bad alternator, something like that, something not providing 12 volt to the Petronics ignition, because if the Petronic doesn't see 12 volt, it's not happy. What it turned out to be, the day after the car been sitting, I tried cranking this thing up to find the problem again and actually diagnose where the problem was. But the problem was, as soon as I hit the key, there was no power at all. And tapping or hitting on the old starter relay, the tapping starter relay, I heard the voltage regulator kick on, which, and I went inside and looked at the dash and we had oil light and alternator light. And then as soon as I hit the key to crank it, I got a kind of sound and all the power went out again. Most likely because some kind of short inside the starter relay. But right there, I immediately knew we had a bad starter relay. We put a new starter relay on that I got ordered up. And this thing runs perfectly now and starts perfectly now so far. I guess that was the problem, that some kind of thing was shorting out or drawing too much ampage. I had a too bad of a connection through the starter relay. If you guys experienced that with an old Ford that has the typical Ford starter relay, then definitely check out the new starter relays. I hear so many bad stories about brand new starter relays, bad out the box, or shorting out, or loose studs for the power cables, and all kinds of things. So remember to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. It helps out the video and channel way more than you think. See you guys in the next episode.